What if stress was not an enemy to be fought, but a signal to be understood? What if the crushing weight of anxiety was a phantom of your own creation, a shadow that could be dissolved with a simple shift in the light of your perception? This is not a fanciful dream, but an attainable reality through disciplined Stoic practice. 10 Principles to End Stress Fast. Calmness, Stoic Practice. Compiled and published by Stoic Ruler. Lesson 1. Inner turmoil is not you. Imagine the deep, vast ocean. On its surface, violent storms may rage, waves may crash and churn in a chaotic frenzy. Yet, in the profound depths below, there remains a silent, undisturbed, and powerful stillness. This is the image of your true self in relation to your stress. The inner conflict that plagues so many of us is a case of mistaken identity. We believe we are the storm. When anxiety, frustration, or worry roils the surface of our minds, we fuse with it, declaring, "I am stressed," thereby becoming the turmoil itself. The pain of this fusion is immense. It feels as though our very core is being torn apart, that our entire being is composed of this chaotic energy, leaving us feeling helpless and utterly consumed by the tempest. The transformative solution is to realize and internalize a profound truth. You are not the storm, you are the ocean. You are the deep, abiding consciousness that is witnessing the turmoil on the surface. The core Stoic principle at play is the separation of the observing self from the transient experiences of thought and emotion. Stress is an event, a weather pattern passing through your awareness. It is not the awareness itself. Embracing this perspective is like diving below the turbulent surface into the serene depths of your being, finding a sanctuary of peace that was there all along. This single shift in identity is the first and most crucial step to ending stress. To begin practicing this fundamental separation, you must cultivate the habit of introspective observation. When you feel the familiar surge of stress, pause. Instead of being carried away by it, adopt the stance of a curious scientist observing a phenomenon. Label the experience in a detached manner. There is a feeling of anxiety arising, or the thought of frustration is present. This simple act of labeling creates a space between you and the turmoil. You are not judging it or fighting it. You are simply noticing it as something distinct from your true self. This is the action of diving beneath the waves, acknowledging the storm on the surface while resting in the quiet of the deep. The profound benefit of this practice is a radical sense of freedom. The turmoil may still appear, but it will no longer define you. Its power to consume you will evaporate. This positive transformation is one from being a victim of your inner weather to becoming the calm, expansive sky that holds all weather without being harmed by it. Your immediate call to action is to practice this distinction today. The next time a wave of stress appears, say to yourself, "I am the ocean, and this is merely a wave." Feel the truth of this statement. This is the continuous journey of remembering who you truly are. Now that we have distinguished ourselves from the turmoil, we must learn how to handle the waves without being swept away. Our next lesson will explore the critical discipline of observing our inner world without the need for an instant reaction. To continue on this path, be sure to subscribe to Stoic Ruler and like this video if you felt the power of this first principle. Lesson 2. Observe without reacting instantly. Imagine you are sitting by a tranquil stream, watching leaves float by on the surface. Some are beautiful, some are plain, some are jagged. You simply watch them come and go without any impulse to jump into the water after them. These leaves are your thoughts and emotional impulses. The inner conflict arises when instead of just watching, we plunge into the stream after every single one, getting swept up in the current. This is the pain of our instant reactivity. A stressful thought appears, and we immediately engage it, wrestle with it, and follow it downstream into a torrent of anxiety. We cede our peace to the first leaf that floats by, becoming slaves to a relentless, automatic process. The transformative solution is to cultivate the patient wisdom of the streamside observer. It is the conscious discipline of watching the contents of your mind. Thoughts, feelings, urges arise and pass without feeling compelled to act on them instantly. The core idea, a pillar of Stoic and mindfulness practice, is that observation is not endorsement. Witnessing a thought or an emotion does not require you to believe it or react to it. By creating a buffer of impartial observation, you break the hypnotic chain of stimulus response that is the very engine of stress. You reclaim the power to choose, a power that is lost in the flash of instant reaction. To make this practice your own, you must treat your mind as a laboratory of observation. When a stressful thought or emotion emerges, your sole task is to watch it as you would watch a cloud moving across the sky. Notice its texture, its shape, its trajectory. Notice the urge it creates in you to do something, and then consciously choose to do nothing but continue observing. See the impulse to worry, the impulse to argue, the impulse to despair, and simply let it be there without feeding it the energy of your reaction. It is a radical act of non-engagement, allowing the leaf to float on by, knowing that another will soon follow. The benefit of this practice is the discovery of a profound inner stillness. You will find that thoughts and emotions, when not fueled by your reaction, have a surprisingly short lifespan. They arise, peak, and pass away on their own. The positive transformation is from being a reactive puppet to becoming a serene and composed witness. You become the master of your inner world, not by controlling your thoughts, but by ceasing to be controlled by them. Your practice exercise is to set aside 2 minutes today to simply sit and watch your thoughts without judgment. Don't try to stop them, just watch them float by. This is the continuous training of a calm and centered mind. Observing is the first step. But what about the meaning we instantly assign to what we observe? In our next lesson, we will explore the power of delaying judgment to allow true clarity to emerge. Please comment below on what you discovered while observing your thoughts, and subscribe to keep these lessons coming. Lesson 3. Delay judgment. Embrace clarity. Imagine a wise judge in a courtroom. A case is presented with compelling emotional arguments. A foolish judge would bang the gavel instantly, swayed by the first passionate plea. A wise judge, however, listens to all the evidence, retires to their chambers, and reflects deeply before delivering a verdict. Our mind is this courtroom. The inner conflict is that we act as the foolish judge. A stressful event occurs, and our mind presents an immediate emotional judgment. This is a disaster. This is a catastrophe. I am a failure. We bang the gavel instantly, sentencing ourselves to anxiety and despair based on incomplete and emotionally biased evidence. The pain is that we live in a world distorted by these hasty, flawed verdicts. The transformative solution is to become the wise judge, to consciously practice the discipline of delaying judgment. This is the commitment to not accept your mind's first, automatic interpretation of an event as the final truth. The core Stoic idea is that our impressions are not reality. They are a mixture of objective events and our subjective opinions, beliefs, and fears. By delaying our judgment, we create a crucial space to examine the impression, question it, and separate the facts from our emotional stories. This pause allows the muddy waters of initial emotion to settle, revealing the clarity that lies beneath. To implement this practice, you must arm yourself with a simple, powerful phrase. When a stressful event occurs and your mind screams its verdict, you must calmly interject with the internal statement, "I will delay my judgment on this." This is your judicial power. You are not suppressing your feelings, but you are refusing to let them write the final verdict. You can then proceed to gather more evidence. Ask yourself, what are the objective facts here? What is my emotional story about these facts? Is there another, more rational way to interpret this? This process of cognitive distancing prevents you from being swept away by the initial, often catastrophic judgment. The benefit of this discipline is a dramatic increase in mental clarity and a decrease in self-inflicted stress. You will make fewer errors in your thinking and your actions because you will be operating from a place of reason rather than reactive emotion. The positive transformation is one from being a prisoner in your own mental courtroom to becoming its wise and impartial judge. You gain a reputation, first with yourself and then with others, as a person of sound judgment and unshakable composure. Your call to action is to identify one situation today where you would normally rush to a negative judgment and instead consciously choose to delay it. Observe the space and peace this creates. This is the continuous practice of embracing clarity over chaos. Delaying judgment allows us to see reality more clearly. The next step is to accept that reality, even when it is not to our liking. In our next lesson, we will confront the futility of resistance and learn the profound peace of acceptance. If you are ready to become a wiser judge of your own life, like this video and subscribe to Stoic Ruler. Lesson 4. Accept reality without resistance. Picture a powerful river flowing inevitably toward the sea. You can choose to get in a raft and flow with the current, skillfully navigating its twists and turns. Or you can choose to stand in the middle of the river and try to push it back, a futile and exhausting struggle. The river is reality. The inner conflict we face is our deep-seated instinct to resist what is, to stand in the river and demand that it flow the other way. We resist a diagnosis, we resist a job loss, we resist the fact that things did not go as planned. The problem is that resistance does not change reality. It only creates immense suffering for ourselves. The pain is the complete and utter exhaustion, physical, mental, and emotional, that comes from fighting a battle we can never win. The transformative solution is to embrace the Stoic superpower of acceptance. This is not passive resignation or giving up. It is the wise, courageous, and pragmatic decision to stop fighting reality and start working with it. The core idea, beautifully captured in the Stoic phrase amor fati, a love of fate, is that our path to tranquility lies in accepting and even embracing everything that happens. It is the understanding that the energy spent resisting the unchangeable is energy that could be used to adapt, to learn, and to respond virtuously to the situation as it is, not as we wish it were. To bring the power of acceptance into your life, you must learn to recognize the posture of resistance within yourself. It feels like tension, like bracing, like a clenched fist in the mind. When you notice this feeling, you can consciously choose to unclench. You can practice this with a simple mantra. When faced with an undesirable reality, you can say to yourself, "This is the situation. I accept it." This verbal acknowledgement is a powerful act that shifts your mind out of resistance mode and into problem-solving mode. You can then ask the truly important question: given that this is the reality, what is the most rational and virtuous action I can take now? The benefit of cultivating acceptance is a profound and lasting peace. You will liberate yourself from the exhausting drama of resisting the unchangeable. You will conserve your precious energy for what truly matters: your response. The positive transformation is from being a perpetual victim of circumstance to becoming a skillful navigator of life's currents. You find a deep sense of serenity, not because life has become perfect, but because you have ceased your war with it. Your motivational practice is to identify one small thing you are currently resisting and consciously practice accepting it. It could be the weather, the traffic, or a minor mistake. Feel the release of tension as you let go of the struggle. This is the continuous journey of flowing with the river of life. Accepting reality naturally leads to a crucial question: what parts of this reality can we actually influence? Our next lesson delves into the cornerstone of Stoicism, understanding that true control is only internal. Subscribe and join us as we uncover this liberating principle. Lesson 5. Control is only internal. Imagine a master archer standing in an open field. She has complete control over her stance, her breath, her focus, the tension in the bowstring, and the moment of release. However, once the arrow leaves the bow, she has no control over a sudden gust of wind that may divert its path. The inner conflict that generates so much of our stress is our failure to understand this distinction. We act like a foolish archer, obsessing over the wind while neglecting our stance. We pour our energy into trying to control things that are fundamentally outside our power: the opinions of others, the state of the economy, the outcome of events. The pain of this is a constant state of anxiety and frustration, as we are trying to command the uncontrollable. The transformative solution is the Stoic dichotomy of control, perhaps the most practical principle for ending stress fast. It is the discipline of ruthlessly sorting all life events into two distinct categories: things that are within your control and things that are not. The core idea, as taught by Epictetus, is that the only things truly within our control are our own judgments, impulses, desires, and actions, our inner world. Everything else, without exception, is external and ultimately beyond our command. By focusing our energy exclusively on what is ours to control, we tap into a source of unshakable tranquility and personal power. To make this principle a living reality, you must become a vigilant gatekeeper of your attention. Throughout your day, when you feel stress arising, pause and perform a mental triage. Ask of the situation, what part of this is up to me and what part is not? If you are worried about a presentation, the judgment of your boss is not up to you, but the quality of your preparation is. If you are frustrated by traffic, the traffic itself is not up to you, but your response to it. Your choice to listen to a podcast or practice calm breathing is. This constant sorting allows you to consciously redirect your precious energy from fruitless worry to productive action. The benefit of mastering this principle is nothing short of life-changing. You will feel an immense burden lift from your shoulders as you willingly let go of the impossible task of controlling the universe. Your stress levels will plummet, replaced by a focused sense of purpose. The positive transformation is from being an anxious micromanager of reality to becoming the calm, effective CEO of your own mind. Your call to action is to take a current source of stress in your life and write it down. Then draw 2 columns next to it, in my control and not in my control. Fill them out honestly. This simple act of clarification is the first step toward peace. This is the continuous practice of tending to your own garden. Once we know that our own thoughts are within our control, we must examine the nature of those thoughts. Are they orders we must obey? Our next lesson explores the liberating idea that thoughts are not commands. Like this video if you feel the power of this principle and share your thoughts in the comments. Lesson 6. Thoughts are not commands. Imagine your mind is a grand council chamber where various advisors constantly stand up to offer suggestions. One advisor, cloaked in gray, whispers of doom and inadequacy. Another, bright and energetic, speaks of opportunity and courage. The inner conflict that causes so much stress is that we treat the gray, fearful advisor as the king, believing its every whispered suggestion is a royal command that must be obeyed. A thought like, "You're going to fail," enters our mind, and we treat it as an undeniable fact, a direct order to feel anxious and defeated. The pain is a form of self-tyranny, where we live under the oppressive rule of our own unexamined negative thoughts. The transformative solution is to demote your thoughts from commands to mere suggestions. It is the profound realization that a thought is only a proposition, an idea offered up for your consideration. You are the king, the true ruling center of your mind, and you have the ultimate authority to accept or reject any suggestion that is offered. The core Stoic principle is that thoughts themselves have no power. It is our assent to them, our belief in them, that gives them their strength. By recognizing this, we can begin to relate to our thoughts with a healthy skepticism and a sense of executive authority. To put this liberating principle into practice, you must cultivate the habit of questioning your thoughts, especially the stressful ones. When a negative thought appears, instead of automatically accepting it, you can mentally step back and say, "That's an interesting suggestion. Thank you, but I will not be acting on that." You can challenge its validity by asking, is this thought actually true? Is it helpful? Does it align with the person I want to be? This process of cross-examination exposes the thought as just one option among many, not an inescapable reality. You are no longer a passive recipient of thoughts, but an active interrogator of them. The benefit of this practice is a profound mental liberation. You will no longer be at the mercy of your mind's random, often negative chatter. You will experience a quiet confidence, knowing that you are the one in charge of your inner world. The positive transformation is from being a subject ruled by fear to being a sovereign who rules with reason. You learn to listen to all advisors, but to heed only the wise ones. Your motivational practice is to notice one recurring negative thought you have. The next time it appears, instead of believing it, simply thank your mind for the suggestion and consciously turn your attention elsewhere. This is the continuous act of reclaiming your throne. Demoting our thoughts requires mental focus. But how do we build that focus in a world of constant distraction? Our next lesson reveals how the simple act of stillness can dramatically strengthen your mental power. Subscribe to Stoic Ruler to continue your training in self-mastery. Lesson 7. Stillness strengthens mental focus. Imagine a jar of water filled with mud and sediment. If you shake the jar relentlessly, the water remains cloudy and opaque. You cannot see through it. To make the water clear, you do not need to add anything. You must simply stop shaking it. You must let it be still, allowing the sediment to naturally settle to the bottom. Our mind is this jar of water. The inner conflict we face is that we live in a world that is constantly shaking the jar. Constant notifications, endless information, and the pressure to always be on keep our minds in a state of perpetual agitation. The problem is that a scattered, agitated mind is a weak mind. It cannot focus, solve problems effectively, or find peace. The pain is a feeling of being mentally fragmented and chronically distracted. The transformative solution is to intentionally introduce periods of stillness into your life. Stillness is not emptiness or boredom. It is the powerful act of allowing the sediment of your mind to settle. The core idea, cherished by Stoics and sages throughout history, is that clarity and focus are not achieved by adding more mental effort, but by subtracting mental noise. In the quiet space of stillness, our scattered mental energy gathers and our focus naturally deepens. Stillness is the antidote to the frantic agitation of modern life. It is the necessary condition for mental strength. To integrate this strengthening practice into your life, you must schedule appointments with stillness. This may sound paradoxical, but it is essential. You must carve out and fiercely protect small pockets of time where you deliberately do nothing. This could be 5 minutes in the morning, sitting in a chair with no phone, no book, no music, just being. It could be a short walk without headphones. It could be the practice of formal meditation. The key is to cease all inputs and to simply allow your mind to be still. You will notice the urge to shake the jar, to reach for a distraction. Your practice is to gently resist that urge and remain in the stillness. The profound benefit of this discipline is the development of a powerful, laser-like focus. As the sediment of your mind settles, you will be able to think more clearly, make better decisions, and concentrate for longer periods. Your creativity will increase as new ideas have the quiet space to emerge. The positive transformation is from having a cloudy, agitated mind to possessing a clear, calm, and potent one. Your call to action is to find just 3 minutes for stillness today. Put your phone in another room, set a timer, and simply sit. Let the jar settle. This is the continuous journey of cultivating a mind as clear and deep as a mountain lake. A still mind is better able to handle its attachments. Our next lesson will address one of the greatest sources of stress, our attachment to outcomes. If you value a clear mind, like this video and share your experience with stillness in the comments. Lesson 8. Let go of external outcomes. Let us return to our master archer one last time. She has done everything in her power to ensure a perfect shot. She has perfected her craft through thousands of hours of practice. Her focus is absolute. She releases the arrow. At this moment, her work is done. The arrow's flight is now subject to 1,000 external factors she cannot control. The Stoic archer finds her contentment and pride not in whether the arrow hits the bullseye, but in the excellence of her shot. The inner conflict that causes us profound stress is that we are the opposite. We perform the action and then we mentally chain ourselves to the arrow, riding it in agony, praying it hits the target. Our peace becomes entirely dependent on the external outcome. The pain is the endless anxiety of waiting for a result that is never entirely up to us. The transformative solution is to learn to let go of external outcomes and fall in love with the process. It is to shift your definition of success from the result to the effort. The core Stoic idea is that our duty and our virtue lie in our intentions and our actions, not in the results they produce. The world may or may not reward our efforts, but we can find a deep and abiding satisfaction in knowing that we gave our best. that we acted with integrity and excellence. This is the key to a fearless life. For if your contentment comes from your own actions, then nothing external can ever truly take it away from you. To apply this principle, you must consciously redefine your goals. For any task you undertake, from a major project at work to a difficult conversation, set your primary intention on the quality of your own input. Before you begin, you might say to yourself, "My goal is to prepare for this meeting with thoroughness and to speak with honesty and courage. The outcome is not my primary concern." After the event, you will judge yourself not on the external result. Did I get the promotion? Did they agree with me? But on your internal scorecard. Did I do my best? Did I act virtuously? The benefit of this profound shift in perspective is the dissolution of the fear of failure. When your focus is on your effort, you cannot fail as long as you try your best. This cultivates a courageous spirit, willing to take on great challenges without being paralyzed by the possibility of a negative outcome. The positive transformation is from being an anxious gambler, betting your happiness on external results, to becoming a noble craftsman, finding joy and dignity in the work itself. Your motivational exercise is to choose one task today and dedicate yourself completely to the process, consciously releasing your attachment to the result. This is the continuous practice of finding freedom in your own effort. Letting go of outcomes frees us to act in the only time we can, the present. Our next lesson will teach us how to anchor ourselves in this powerful reality. Subscribe to Stoic Ruler to continue building this fearless mindset. Lesson 9. Anchor yourself in the present. Imagine a ship being tossed on a stormy sea. To the left is the foggy coastline of the past, filled with the rocks of regret and missed opportunity. To the right is the dark horizon of the future, filled with the imagined monsters of anxiety and what-ifs. A foolish captain would try to steer toward one of these phantom shores. A wise captain knows the only way to survive the storm is to drop anchor right where they are, in the deep waters of the present moment. Our mind is this ship. The inner conflict is that we spend almost all our time trying to sail to the past or the future, generating immense stress. The problem is that our life is not happening in the past or the future. It is only ever happening now. By living elsewhere in our minds, we are not only creating stress, but we are also missing our own lives. The transformative solution is to learn how to drop anchor in the present. It is the conscious and deliberate practice of bringing your full attention to the immediate reality of this very moment. The core idea is that the present moment is a sanctuary from the stress created by memory and imagination. In the now, the problems of the past and future cease to exist. There is only the sensation of your breath, the feeling of your body, the sounds around you. The present moment is the ultimate refuge, an anchor that can hold you steady in the most violent of mental storms. To practice anchoring yourself, you must use your senses as your anchor chain. When you feel your mind being pulled into the past or future, gently but firmly guide it back to the raw data of the present. Feel the solid ground beneath your feet. Notice 3 things you can see in your immediate vicinity. Listen for 2 sounds you can hear right now. Feel the sensation of the air on your skin. This simple sensory exercise yanks your awareness out of the phantom worlds of thought and plants it firmly in the reality of the now. The breath is your most reliable anchor, always with you. Focusing on the physical sensation of one inhalation and one exhalation is a powerful way to return home to the present. The profound benefit of this practice is the immediate cessation of psychological stress. When you are fully present, it is impossible to be anxious or regretful, as those feelings require you to be thinking about the future or the past. You will discover a deep richness in ordinary life that you have been missing. The positive transformation is from being a time-traveling ghost, haunting your own past and future, to being a fully embodied human, alive and engaged in the gift of the present. Your call to action is to set a random alarm on your phone for some time today. When it goes off, use it as a signal to stop and drop anchor for just 1 minute. This is the continuous journey of learning to inhabit your own life. When we are anchored in the present, we are in the best possible position to act. But how should we act? Our final lesson provides the ultimate Stoic guidance. Respond with reason, not emotion. Join us for this final principle by subscribing to Stoic Ruler. Lesson 10. Respond with reason, not emotion. Imagine a skilled pilot flying a plane through severe turbulence. The passengers in the cabin may be panicking, their emotions running wild. But in the cockpit, the pilot is calm, focused, and executing a series of deliberate, rational procedures. The pilot knows that emotion is a terrible navigator. This is the final inner conflict, the battle between our emotional, reactive self, the passenger, and our rational, wise self, the pilot. When stress hits, our first instinct is to hand the controls over to the panicked passenger. We react with anger, fear, or despair, almost always making the situation worse. The pain is the destructive aftermath of our emotional reactions, damaged relationships, poor decisions, and a deeper sense of being out of control. The transformative solution is to commit to always keeping the pilot in the cockpit. It is the ultimate Stoic discipline of choosing to respond to life's challenges from your ruling faculty, your capacity for reason, rather than from the turbulent sea of your emotions. The core idea is that while emotions provide important information, they should never be in command. Reason is our uniquely human gift, the pilot that can safely navigate the inevitable turbulence of life. A response guided by reason is thoughtful, effective, and virtuous. A reaction guided by emotion is chaotic, destructive, and regrettable. To live this principle, you must cultivate the habit of consulting your inner pilot before you act. When faced with a stressful situation and you feel the surge of raw emotion, you must pause. In that pause, you must ask the ultimate Stoic question: what would reason and virtue have me do now? This question bypasses the emotional panic and activates your higher mind. It forces you to consider the long-term consequences of your actions, your duties to yourself and others, and the kind of character you wish to build. Your response will then be a deliberate choice, not a blind reaction. The benefit of this final principle is a life of profound integrity and effectiveness. You will become a source of stability and wisdom for yourself and for those around you. You will navigate life's greatest challenges with a quiet grace and unshakable confidence, knowing that you are always being guided by your best and highest self. The positive transformation is the final step in your journey. From being a passenger, tossed about by the events of your life, to becoming the calm, confident pilot of your own destiny. Your motivational practice is to embrace this question as your guiding star. In every challenge you face, big or small, let your first move be to ask, what is the rational and virtuous response? This is the continuous and noble practice of a true Stoic. Today, you have walked through 10 principles that form a powerful blueprint for ending stress and cultivating a life of profound calm. From separating yourself from turmoil to responding with reason, you now hold the tools of the Stoic masters. Thank you for investing your time in this journey of self-discovery and empowerment. If this guide has been of service to you, please like this video, share your most valued principle in the comments, and subscribe to Stoic Ruler for a continuous path to fearless living.